All right, everybody, welcome to the show this week. I'm Gary,
This is Austin.
and we're Midwest Mike's coming at you with another show. Since we last spoke, a couple high school football games were played. It was a big game last weekend. We'll get into that between Bishop Miege and Rockhurst. Get into that here in a few minutes. Shawnee Mission East, we beat Shawnee Mission South, got that done, and finished up the sweep with the JV on Monday. So it's a new week, and we're on to Olathe North. But we do have a guest this week, Randy Withers. He follows a lot of kids here in the Kansas City area that are being recruited by different universities all across the country. Talks to a lot of kids, a lot of coaches, keeps up. That's a lot of information to keep track of. And, but somebody's got to do it, and he does a great job with it. You can follow him on Twitter. We'll give out, make sure to give out all that information and everything. But welcome to the show, Randy.
Gary, thank you for having me. I feel bad. Like I said, I had to push you back a couple times on this, but just with it being such a busy time of year. But I'm excited to be here with you guys today and talk some ball.
Oh yeah, no problem. But yeah, so I guess getting right into it. I mean, obviously the biggest game in a long time in high school football last week, Bishop Miege Rockhurst.
Yes, sir.
You went to the game. You actually ended up calling part of the game, you said.
Yeah.
Kind of got called in.
After tailgating for a while and then standing on the sidelines, I joked they called in the righty from the bullpen. And Jeremy Crabtree and I were calling it on 810 Varsity Friday night. And it's the first time those two programs have played in 34 years. And it was the most amazing atmosphere I've seen for a high school football game in Kansas City, and I've been working with 810 Varsity almost as long as I've been covering recruiting. That started back in 2012, I believe, and I've gotten to see a lot of games, a lot of different places, and it was absolutely unbelievable. And you kind of got a feeling of how unique it was when Miege had their choir start singing the national anthem, and the mics cut out. And without really missing a beat, the Miege student section started singing the national anthem in unison and finished the whole thing out. And I'm standing down on the sidelines, and I'm just watching this, and I'm turning to people beside me, and I was like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Wow. Yeah, I was at a Sporting Kansas City game, and that happened one time, and the crowd kind of picked it up. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty amazing experience, especially at a high school game.
Yeah.
I mean, to not
really
miss
cool.
a beat.
That's really cool.
I mean, those kids, they were just, I even said, I was like, good Lord, it sounded like you would have thought they rehearsed it. Like, hey, we're going to bring you guys in after about the first few notes, and then you pick it up from there. But it was amazing. The weather was amazing. I tell people all the time, I mean, there are a lot of really great high school football settings in this city to see games at. And, I know you guys are here at East. I'm a Shawnee Mission Northwest alum, so I played a lot of games at North District Stadium when I was in high school. I've played at ODAC and different places like that. But Miege's stadium being situated in a residential area, just a few blocks from here, in the middle of that Prairie Village neighborhood, the school was there and then the houses came up around it. So you have people tailgating in their backyards with bonfires, watching through the fence, watching game.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You get clouds of barbecue smoke hanging over the field just like at Arrowhead. It really is. It's an amazing place to see a game, and it's uniquely Kansas City, and it's something that with everybody that came in from Rockhurst, I mean, it was packed. They have 1 yard that overlooks the field that these people went and invested in tall top tables like in a sports bar that they put out in their backyard. They've got lights that they've hung clear out to the fence. They have a disco ball. They have a sound system and everything, and they really get after it. They auctioned off their backyard for somebody to have a party in, and they donated the money to the school. They got $15,000.
Oh, my. Wow.
They got $15,000 for that backyard. They got $50 a ticket for reserve seats. They sold general admission for $10, and everything was sold out the Tuesday before the game.
So you're telling me this is probably going to happen again?
Oh yeah, they play again. It was a home and home. They play again next year, and I've told everybody, and I know Coach Holmes has said on Twitter, we're gonna do this, and I think Coach Severino's up for it too. I expect this to become a regular thing, and as a fan of high school football, not just somebody that covers recruiting and is coaching the area, but like if you're a fan of high school football, these games are such tremendous experiences for the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason. Like a couple years ago, I remember we loved it on 810 Varsity. Rockhurst went to Webb City. And if you're not familiar with Webb City is the premier high school football program in the state of Missouri since the start of the century.
Yeah. They've been really good for a long time.
They've won, I think, 10 or 12 state titles since 2000.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
And they've sent guys to every level of college football. They send a lot of kids on to play for free. It is a small town with a jumbotron. Rockhurst went down to Webb City and got absolutely thrashed. It was not a game. The following year, Webb City came to Kansas City, and Rockhurst jumps out on them 14-0. Went to 21-0. Webb City went on to win 42-21.
Wow.
They are that, and it's the same kind of thing. I mean, those games, even though Rockhurst lost, those are the kind of games that I wish everybody could play. Olathe North, who you guys know about, you're playing this week, they just went and played Columbine, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Got whooped, but that experience, that travel with those kids, it's something they'll remember forever. And you don't have to go clear to Colorado, but like the thing that the Suburban Conference has had with the Sunflower League the last few years, those games should happen all the time. And I wish we saw more of it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, the last 2 years we had a home and home against Rockhurst, and honestly, the game that we played at Rockhurst in 16. That would have been 16. That's the best high school atmosphere that I have ever coached in. I mean, it was the stands were packed. Rockhurst, they had brought in extra bleachers. I mean, I didn't go to the Miege game this last weekend, but that probably could have topped it.
Well, and it's the same thing. Like, they had to bring in temporary bleachers for all the Rock fans because the Stag fans basically filled everything.
Yeah.
And so they had... they just built visiting stands across the way for the first time that literally are almost in somebody's backyard. Then they brought in portable bleachers and everything, and then they had standing room out on the track, which if you've been to small town 4A games, that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's
people
common.
Set up their they bring their bag chairs and they sit on the track and they'll fill it up. I mean, I still remember when I was on staff at Miege for 4 years on Coach Grunhardt's first staff. And I remember when we won it in 2009, that was our second year in 4A. And, we played a home game at Miege. We played 2 home games and then 2 road. We were at home against Baldwin, then had Holton come in. And that was an experience, all those people coming from Holton. It was like a whole town came to Miege.
Yep.
And then we went to Lewisburg and Paola. And Lewisburg it's a really nice stadium, and they pack that place. And there are people all the way around the track. People park their cars with their headlights shining down the stadium. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's the thing. I mean, high school football in this part of the country is so unique. And I really wish, like I say, I would love to see Webb City come to Kansas City more often.
Yeah.
I would love to see, Olathe North go to Webb City. Because those kids from Olathe, they'd be stunned when they see that out in the middle of nowhere. They wouldn't expect those farm boys to be as good as they are, and I think it's so cool when you see that. And a lot of kids, Coach Hoover and I were talking about earlier. There are a lot of kids that high school football is the end. Mm-hmm. The vast majority of kids, that's the end, and so. You want them to have memories that they can look back on as part of their high school experience that are positive, that they remember, that they want to share with their kids so that they can grow the game someday and encourage their kids and their grandkids to play.
Yeah.
And games like this, I mean, we're separated by a dotted line down the middle of the street. We might as well be playing. We're all in the same neighborhoods anyway,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot of stuff in the summer, or we traditionally have with Miege. Some camps and different things, scrimmages, and I mean, it's always good competition. They're going to be a well-coached team.
Well, and don't you guys work with Blue Springs and some schools like that during the summer too?
We did this year. We went out to Blue Springs a couple times.
That's a machine.
And
they're really good.
Oh man, yeah. When we went out there, it was an experience because they had some big old boys, and were able to kind of push us around. Another mutual friend we have, my buddy DJ.
William Chrisman.
Yeah, over William Chrisman. They opened with Blue Springs, and he was like, man, how were they when you guys were out there this summer? And I'm like, good luck, brother. I don't know.
They were big, and they were big.
Yeah. They were big, and they could move. So, good luck. But yeah, I mean, high school football, it's an experience. and if our staff, I feel like we have a belief that it's bigger than football, and good staffs I've been on really resonate that to the kids. It's bigger than football because, yes, a lot of the kids that we do coach are not going to go on and play Division I, Division II, Division III NAIA football. A lot of them, I mean, they're just going to go to college and be a student. And I'm a firm believer in give them the experience. And football has a lot of parallels with life. A lot of things just, when you wake up and things don't go your way in a day as an adult, and you're like, I got to rally and I got to get back on this thing. I can't just give up because it's hard. And, that's a big thing that football teaches these young men. And, I know that's one thing that I feel like everybody on our staff here, really believes in and, is bonding together with our kids. And, I know that's a thing Coach Holmes does too, over there at Miege. I have a lot of high praise for Coach Holmes and the interactions I've had with him. And, a lot of people, we're going to talk about it. They went for 2, end up losing by 1 point, not getting it. Shoestring tackle.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I was watching that. I'm calling the game with Jeremy Crabtree, and the first thing I thought of is I still remember Grunny, who, Grunny obviously played for 11 years for Marty Schottenheimer and Gunther Cunningham, was around guys like Al Saunders and Howard Mudd, one of the greatest offensive line coaches to ever be around the game, and played for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame. And he said, he goes, if you're going to gamble in a situation like that, if you make the decision that Coach Holmes did, it's because you believe that's the last best chance you're going to have to score. And that game at that point had been so physical. Miege has a big play offense that had been, other than 2 big plays, had been completely stifled. Mm-hmm. They were down their best running back, Bryson Cobbins, who's one of the best backs in the city. He played, but clearly wasn't himself. And this doesn't happen very often at Miege. They were at a size disadvantage because Rockhurst's offensive line is so massive. They've got, Danielson Ike, who is a kid with an offer from Ole Miss and a lot of other SEC schools, that's 6'6", almost 6'7", and 345 pounds, and it's just a monster, massive human being. And for once, Miege was at a size disadvantage, and they were having trouble moving the football through the air. They were having trouble moving the football on the ground. They were matching their physicality, and I thought they were defending very well against Rock. And I think Coach Holmes, the reason, and I bet if you asked him, he'd probably say, we felt like that was the last best chance we were going to have to win that game.
Yeah, and I personally, I like the decision because, I'm of that mentality, like you're just saying, if this is our best chance to win this game, then let's take it right now.
Yes. And,
let's do it. And if it doesn't pay off, obviously, as the head coach, he knows he's going to take the heat, from the media, from guys around, from some fans in the stands. But, Coach Holmes, and I'm sure that, if we did talk to him, he would say something to that effect. Hey, I felt like it was our best chance to win the game, and I told our kids, let's go win it or lose it right now.
Yep.
Let's go win the game. And, so I personally, I love the decision. Obviously, everybody on Twitter thinks they know better than a guy who's won 4 straight state championships.
That's pretty typical, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah. And they'll be fine. They'll rally back. I think they got Blue Valley this week.
And then Aquinas. That may be, that's your EKL championship game.
Yeah.
And a showdown between a squad that many think is the likely, favorite in 5A against the favorite in 4A. And that's going to be a war right there. It
is. That's going to be a big game looking down the line. So who are some kids, from Miege, Blue Valley, different schools that our listeners should start kind of hearing about?
I'm going to start with a kid that is not at one of those schools.
Okay.
His team is undefeated, though, and has scored a big upset a few weeks ago over Fort Osage. North Kansas City High School has a kid by the name of C.J. Price. His name is goes by C.J., but his name is Clyde.
Okay.